So as a little extra bonus feature here, let's call it 2.5 on depression and part 2 of the Q&A for July of 2019. Because I'm not finished with this, and I felt after sitting for a few minutes after recording the previous video that I had some more thoughts I could share on the subject that is connected to overcoming obstacles and coping with living in a city, and a very important part of it, or at least for me it's been incredibly important and valuable to do this over the years, no matter where I lived myself personally, or if I'm staying with a friend, or in this instance when I'm working at a restaurant an hour away from here, which would take me over 3 hours to reach from where I live otherwise. Of course, that would be a nightmare to do on a day-to-day basis, so I'm choosing the lesser of evils here, and instead of living in the forests, which is optimal for me otherwise, but would be a nightmare for working at that restaurant for this limited amount of time, which is a bit more than 2 months. I'm staying at my father's place, which is in this valley here, and this is a place he moved here about a decade ago, and that was when the Lifehell was a new project, and we were also working on a sprint together, me and Jonas, for Hypothermia and Dimhum. So we've been at this bench before, and drinking and smoking as we did back then. Today I've chosen the lesser of those two evils as well. And as you can hear, there is sounds from the highway even here, but it's way less than when you're in the middle of it. And that's what I felt worth sharing in this little semi-feature. Something that of course most of you are aware of, but you might feel crippled by anxiety or depression, and no matter if you have social anxiety or any kind of diagnosis, or you just generally feel pretty bad about life or where you're at in your life for the moment, a way to cope with all of this, which I found very beneficial and important and valuable for progressing in life and getting some kind of peace of mind, or being able to meditate without feeling distracted by the surrounding civilization and the world itself, is to find places like this with nature, even if it's a small place, if it's a park, a mountain, a small forest area, or undeveloped land, if it's a cemetery for that sake, that works too. Somewhere with that is less frequented by people, in a place where you can just be alone or be by yourself as much as possible. Search out those places, research them. If you're new in a city, explore it. Take your time, no matter if it's at day or at night. Go out, and as I mentioned, if you're afraid of people or feel bad about being around them, do like what I did in the past, and what I frequently do even now, 20 years later. Go out in the night. Don't be don't find excuses or limitations. That's just what your depression and anxiety wants from you, to lock yourself down into this limited little space. Challenge yourself and find sanctuaries like this in your area. And if you're having a trouble finding them with today's technology, you have the big, very big advantage that didn't exist 15 or 20 years ago, which is you can now just search on the internet and you can go to Google Maps for that sake and look at your city and the surrounding area, and you will immediately see where there is nature. And that means usually where there is nature there is less people. So search out those places and find your sanctuary. Because that's where you can meditate, no matter if it's in total silence or with music. I've made music completely for that kind of purpose, and you can reach all of it on this YouTube channel where this video is. You can find all my albums and find one that suits your needs. So much better. Even though some of you might enjoy sirens, I don't. So yeah, that was a bit of a ramble, I'm aware, but hopefully it will be useful for some of you, because it's not news to most of you. You're aware of it, but it's easy to bypass that part. If you have a lot of anxiety or struggle with depression, the most obvious answers to your questions might be something that your mind puts a cloud on, because it's distracted by so many other things that you have to focus on, that's in your more immediate area that you're surrounded by from your day-to-day life and whatever career that you are into. So once again, I thank you all for listening and watching, and I hope that this is for some use to some of you. Otherwise, simply go to another video that is hopefully better for you, or you can go search in this channel for my albums and listen to them freely, or you can go to our Bandcamp and download them. You can choose your price yourself if you want to support us, or you can go to our Patreon. If you want to help me make more videos like this, you can subscribe to different tiers, or you can go to my web shop and get shirts or vinyls or whatever you like. So thanks again for watching. Take care out there. Cheers.